All right, let's talk about coil taps. If you've seen a lot of guitars advertised these days with coil taps, and you're wondering what that's all about, basically you're trying, these manufacturers are trying to come up with an offering where you don't need to bring, say, 2 guitars out to a gig or have 2 guitars in the studio. You can buy one guitar and get both, single coil Strat sounds, i.e. like my Fender Bullet over here with single coil pickups, or get big fat humbucker sounds, i.e. this Wolfgang that I have back here, which I love so much. Now this is a prime example. This is the PRS 594 McCarty, and a lot of PRS stuff, like a lot of new brands, is being shipped with coil taps. Now, how coil taps work, and I don't pretend to be an expert on all this type of stuff, is basically a single coil is one coil pickup, and it has a thinner sound, i.e. Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, etc., etc. It's the and humbuckers are 2 single coil pickups wired together. Obviously, one to reduce the hum, thus the name humbucker. And anybody that's ever listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan live stuff or Hendrix live stuff, and in between songs or when there's real quiet parts in the songs, you can hear the amplifiers humming like crazy. And that's why humbuckers were kind of developed. And obviously when you put 2 of them together, you get a bigger, fatter sound. And this is common, Les Pauls, the earlier PRSs before they started doing all these. And just in general, single coils lean more towards a country, blues. They have a more transparent sound, right? When you start getting upper in gain, right? You start getting higher up in your gain levels. Humbuckers start to make the most sense because 1, there is less hum, and 2, when you have a lot of distortion, a lot of harmonics, if you're somebody that does a lot of pinch harmonics, a lot of feedback, a lot of dive bombs and crazy stuff like that, you'll find that humbuckers have a much more balanced, controlled, full sound in super high gain environments. But basically, how this works is these pickups, right, are, again, they're humbuckers, they're 2 coils, but with the flick of a switch, or like in this PRS's case where it's actually a pull knob, you can switch between just 1 coil being on and 2 coils being on. So literally, here's a humbucker, single coil. And you can do that with each pickup. So if I go, so that was the neck pickup. If I go on the bridge pickup, there's your humbucker, here's your single coil. And you'll notice there's a little volume drop. And some manufacturers more than others. PRS does a pretty good job of the volume being pretty darn close. Some you'll get, some of the lower end stuff, you'll get more of a noticeable drop, and you'll find yourself wanting to add another effect or another boost if you're in a live scenario especially, and you want to go to your single coil. But in a recording environment, when your noise is very, very controlled, you should be able to hear it with the amp. We're going through a Dr. Z, and I have a Sennheiser guitar mic on here. So you should be able to hear the difference pretty well. But when you're in that kind of environment, man, guitars like these, you can get any sound you want, and it's just right in your hands. So check this out. So this is your humbucker. Single coil. And with this guitar, what's cool is that you can mix them. So I have both on now, and I can have, say, 1 single coil and 1 humbucker. how the humbucker's got a little more meat to it. But as soon as you kick on those single coils, you get that transparency that we all love about single coils. So if you're in the market for a new guitar, especially a high-end guitar, these coil taps are a really, really cool option. Because, again, a lot of times, especially if you play in cover gigs or gigs that it's not always one real sound. Like if you're on a metal gig, right? If you're in a metal band, chances are you're going to have the same, humbuckers throughout your whole set. But if you play in a diverse band, if you're in a wedding band, any type of cover band that crosses genres, or you do a lot of studio work, you're going to want different sounds. These coil taps have come a long way. And, I used to bring, two guitars out to gigs all the time. Like, for example, I would bring a Fender, I'd bring something with humbuckers, and when I had heavy songs, I'd play the one with the humbuckers, and when I had more country stuff, I'd play the Fender. But look, these coil taps, they sound awesome. So go to a store, try them out. They really, really do a good job, and it's really a nice feature. And I think as time progresses, you're going to see more and more brands come out with these coil taps. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. And yeah, if you like these lessons, please subscribe. It helps me out a great deal. And as always, you can visit GuitarGate.com for the full Monty, where we have everything guitar lesson related, including weekly live lessons online where we can all learn together. So make sure you go ahead and check that out, and I'll see you in the next one.